Hello, Mr. Montalvo here, U.S. History. Today we're taking a look at Unit 4, Lesson 1, Day 2, Manifest Destiny. And our objective is to examine Native Americans who aligned themselves with the British during the American Revolution and lost land and were forced to move. In addition to that, we're going to examine the policies of New York State towards Native Americans at this time in its efforts to take tribal lands, particularly those of the Oneida, and exercise jurisdiction over those communities. Now, an important term to understand better the content that we're going to be discussing today is that of reparations. And reparations are the making of amends or of wrong one has done by paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. In 1776, both the colonies and Great Britain attempted to ally themselves with the Iroquois Confederacy. 4 of the 6 Iroquois nations, the Mohawk, Cayuga, Onondaga, and Seneca, to fight the British. Warriors from the other 2 nations, the Oneida and the Tuscarora, fought with the Americans. And this really forever dissolved the Confederacy, which had kept the individual nations so strong for so long. Now, under the terms of the Peace of Paris, the agreement ending the American Revolution, without regard to its Native American allies, Britain handed over all the new territory to the United States, east of the Mississippi River, south of the Great Lakes, and north of Florida. Even though much of the land was not British, according to its treaties with Native American peoples, they handed it over to the new United States anyway. Now, the Oneida were one of the 6 Iroquois nations that openly declared its support for the American Revolution. And after the war, Congress thanked the Oneida for helping them and granted them war reparations, while the U.S. government punished the Native Americans that sided with the British. The Oneida were left in relative peace. And this is a copy of the agreement made between George Washington and the Oneida. State and federal governments prevented the group from buying back most of its ancestral land for years. The situation worsened when New York State claimed that land that belonged to the Oneida. However, when New York attempted to force the Oneida to pay taxes on their land, Congress issued a very mixed verdict. They exempted the Oneida from state taxes, but also ruled that they did not have sovereignty in their own lands. Now, Thomas Jefferson sent 2 explorers, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, to explore the lands west of the Mississippi River, just 2 years before the purchase of the territory from the United States. And this is a map of the United States taking a look at the Louisiana Purchase, and once again identifying that with the Louisiana Purchase, the United States is more than doubling in its physical size. Now, many Americans in the 1840s believed that the United States had the right and duty to spread its rule all the way to the Pacific Ocean. A New York newspaper coined the phrase manifest destiny to identify this belief, the idea that the United States had a God-given right to push westward. Manifest means clear or obvious, and destiny means that something is sure to happen. This is probably one of the most infamous illustrations, known as American Progress, by John Gast. Now, in order to better understand this topic, particularly that of the journey of Lewis and Clark, there is a document attached to evaluate sources. So please take a look at that. In addition to that, just to wrap up our conversation for today, try to examine, or rather explain, the concept or idea of manifest destiny. Try this once you've watched the video lesson, but also once you've completed the evaluation of the sources to better respond and better understand this belief or concept. And that's it for today. Thank you.